that fade out, Sonia. Could not have been more perfect, right?
Oh,
Good morning, Cindy. It's great to have you here.
it's so great to be with you. Thanks so much, Sasha, for having me.
Of course, it's been a hot minute since I've been on one of our power hours. So I'm excited to be back here and could not be more excited to be here on a day with Cindy presenting Powerhouse, definitely in our industry. And for those, I don't believe she needs an introduction. However, there might be a few people on the call that are not familiar with Cindy. And so for those who aren't, she has had quite the career in mortgage, been a top producer, a top mortgage executive, and has really built the expertise necessary to have that credibility that you're looking for when you want someone to help coach you on how do I up my game, right? If I'm thinking about myself as a loan officer, as a leader, as a human, and I just want to continue to grow that and evolve in both my personal and professional life, could not think of a better person. Her focus is heart-centric and forward, and she's just got such a lovely personality and great background to share. So very excited to have her here today. As a quick reminder, I think Sonia just wrote it in the Teams chat. Please use the reactions. Please use the webinar chat to interact with us during. Cindy's going to do her spiel, so I'm going to kind of go off camera to let her take over. But if you have questions, put them in there. We'll take a look at those and make sure we get them answered for you. And then also we'll have some more announcements at the end. So really appreciate, again, you being here, Cindy. Thank you so much. And I'm going to hand it
Thanks
off to
so
you.
much. It's so great to be here with all you guys. I really, really appreciate it. And obviously, it's been a challenging time in mortgage, right? It's been such a challenging time. It's not for the faint of heart. I do believe, just like the song said at the intro, it's like you have to really want success in this business because we can't sit on the sidelines anymore. I think it's just really important to just wake up every day and go, what bold choice can I make today? Because it takes some serious bold choices to be successful. But the great news about the market we're in is there's a lot of markets that are heating up. There's a lot of people starting to get traction, and we're starting to see success come back into the industry, particularly for those people that really want it. So I wanted to share some strategies today that could actually help you move the needle and help you get some clarity around your business so that you could really kind of dive in and take action. I think so much of it is about building new referral partners and really trying to be proactive, to be out in front of your community, your agents, your past client database, and ways to build and grow your business. So if that's all right, I'm going to go ahead and just jump in, Sasha. I'll just make sure you can see my screen here.
While you're doing that, I love the success as a choice. I always say happiness is a choice. And so I love the success as a choice too. It's great. And
Can
I
you
can
see
see
that?
you. So, yep, you're off to the
Okay,
races.
perfect. So I really want to just talk to you about three key strategies today that I think can really help you move the needle. I would really appreciate it if you could take some notes because I think take pictures of some of the slides if you want. I'm going to give you a script that is amazing. In fact, I just had a testimonial this morning for one of my new clients who used the script that I'm going to give you today and already got a loan in the door today after using this script just a couple of days ago. So it's something that you can execute on very, 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 very quickly. I'm going to go back to this. For those of you that don't know me, just to give you a little bit of a background, probably one of my most joyous awards I ever got was being named one of the top 100 most influential mortgage executives in America. This business has been in my blood for 37 years. When I got into the business, I really just decided that failure was not an option and I was going to be successful no matter what. And I think it takes that kind of drive and determination because it can be a very, very tough business. So I was very fortunate. I had amazing coaches and mentors and people that supported my growth journey in mortgage and was in the top 100 originators in the US for well over a decade. Grew my personal production to over 200 million. And my partner and I led a $1 billion branch in Manhattan Beach, California, and went on to build a very substantial region here in SoCal. Probably my biggest accomplishments are these humans on this picture, my three amazing kids, daughter-in-law and grandpup. There's now a grandbaby in the picture, but I think one of the key things in our business is learning how to have a very successful business and also being able to have some non-negotiables to have a very successful life. And I think it's great when you're a mom of 3 kids that are now grown and you have a solid foundation in family because you made good choices around focusing on what is most important in our life and not just our business, right? So these are the 3 things we're going to talk about today. I love starting with the mortgage satisfaction assessment, and I really encourage my clients to do this assessment at least a couple of times a year because, your strengths change. You might focus on one area of your business, and now you've got maybe your operational systems need work, maybe your processes need work, maybe your marketing plan needs work. So we always want to be assessing our business. I'm going to talk to you about discovering your why and greatest strengths. Getting clear on your greatest strengths, I think, is one of the most key things you can do to be able to convey that to other people. We'll talk more about that. And then one of my top strategies is how to execute a top 5 referral partner program. This program I have done hundreds of times personally, over and over and over again. The reason is because it works. So, I mean, obviously, I'm telling you the obvious here. These are some of the current challenges that mortgage originators are facing. There's still some uncertainty in the market. We've still got low inventory, right? Rates are still kind of level. I've heard from a lot of people that they are feeling a lack of fulfillment. Loans have never been more challenging. Building new referral partners is tough. Past referral partners got out of the business, particularly you've been in it for a long time. There's still a lot of anxiety. There's lack of lead flow. People are still, as you know, there's just a lot of uncertainty. So what we want to do is at the very least focus on what we can do to work on our mindset so we can go into each day from a positive place, because it takes an army to do that. And it takes some intentional practices, I fully believe, each and every day, because I am supporting people each and every day and pouring into them. And that is not possible unless I've poured into myself first with my own morning practices. So I really want you to think about this for you. Are you living in fear, or are you waking up every day and just like diving in and taking daily action to drive results? I think it's something I believe in intention. We've got to get very intentional about our business. And so ask yourself, are you doing the daily actions that you need to do, or you come home at the end of the day and be like, I knew I should have called those 5 people and I just didn't do it. I'm going to do it tomorrow. We've got to have an intentional plan to drive our business to real success, and certainly to sustainable success. But this quote, you all, is one of my all-time favorites because it is true. It's true for all of us. How many of us carry around the matches to burn down our own house? The answer is we all do. We all have our moments of living in fear and limiting beliefs. And for those of you on this call, you know what I'm talking about. We all go through our seasons of doubt and fear and feeling less than. And I've had many people say lately imposter syndrome because their business is down. So the reality is we've got to work on our mindset first and foremost. I really believe it's where it all starts. One of the nation's top producers I was coaching last year, Nicole, said she believes 90% of our success is working on our mindset. And I really believe that is so true. So I want you to think about what stories you're telling yourself that really are not true. One of my clients yesterday, he said, he goes, I don't really want to call realtors because I know they've got 100 realtors call, or they've got 100 lenders calling him. They're not going to want to talk to me. Well, I mean, first of all, that's not even true. But secondly, that is a story that's keeping him from doing what he needs to do, which is pick up the phone and call potential clients and referral partners. So they don't just drop in from the sky. We have to be intentional. We have to really want our success in this business. And for those people that are living boldly right now and making bold choices on a day-to-day basis, they're finding success. Because let me tell you, a lot of your competition's not doing that. So I want you to really think about any less than stories that you're telling yourself. And we want to help you reframe those stories. We've got to reframe that negative mindset. It's a daily practice, for real. I wanted to share this with you. This is in my high-level mastermind group, my mortgage mastermind elite group. Tom Couture is out of Lubbock, Texas. He is now a coach for my company, still a very much boots on the ground mortgage leader. But when Tom was in my program, I didn't know it at the time that he was feeling this way. And a few months back, I did not also know that he had launched a realtor mastermind group. And he recorded this video as his first mastermind group that he led live and in person. He's doing them about 3 times a year now. And he shared this video. And I have to admit that when I first watched this video, I started to cry because it's like, it was very touching for me, but obviously it just really depicted what the human condition's all about. So take a listen.
I don't even know why I got picked to do this. By God, am I the only one in the room that's told himself stories about himself that aren't true? I mean, for years, I will be 66 years old in a couple of days. And um, and for the first 59 of those years, I just told myself stories about how I wasn't good enough, I wasn't worthy enough. I'll tell you this, when I started in coaching, the lady that I hired as my business coach, her name is Cindy Ertman, and she has a program where she speaks at mortgage conferences and whatnot, but she has a program where she takes only 12 people a year, big mortgage producers across the nation. Every other week, Zoom meetings, and then twice during the year, you go to Manhattan Beach, California, and it's a weekend-long retreat, I guess, is what you call it, with those 12 people and Cindy and her little crew. At the time, I was, doing pretty well as far as producing mortgages and being, halfway good in my career, I hope. And I sat in that meeting for 2 days, picking out every person in the room and thinking how they were better than me. It was like, oh, that person had a much more creative idea on marketing than I could ever come up with. Or that person is got their systems dialed in so that they don't ever lose a lead. And I sat there for 2 days, just thinking that about myself, telling myself this story about how I wasn't as good as everybody else. And two things happened. One is at the end of the 2 days, everybody had to tell everybody else something that they saw in that other person that was good. Every single one of those 11 people said the same thing to me. Every one of them, I was blown away. And what they said was, you are the most welcoming, warm, and friendly spirit I have ever seen. And I left that night and flew home the next day, and I was like, wait a minute. If 11 other people thought that about me, are they wrong or am I wrong? Because I just sat in that room all weekend long thinking that I wasn't anywhere near as good as they are.
So Tom is an amazing success story. And what Tom did is he started to tell himself a new story, and he moved himself from fear to possibility. And it was incredible to watch what happened to Tom. But after 42 years in the mortgage industry, Tom, who could not break through his $38 million ceiling, no matter what he did, joined my coaching program and got past that limiting belief and that fear and decided just to do the work and go for it. Because he told me in the very first call I ever had with him, he goes, Cindy, I still have $1 million producer inside me. I just don't know how to get there, and I need new tools in my toolbox. Tom went from 38 to 58 million the first year in the coaching, and the second year he went from 58 to 132 million and serviced 579 clients. He has made such a big difference, not just in his business, but in all the people that he served. He's a wonderful, wonderful human. And it was such a big lesson to the other people in the group that what it can mean to break free from the things that are holding you back. So I want you to think about that for yourself. Like, where are you feeling stuck? What are you hanging on to that's keeping you playing small? But I just want you to really think about when we close that door to that negative voice, then we open up opportunity. And once we plow through the fear and we take the action we fear the most, we start to realize it's not that scary after all. So I want you to just think about this from a perspective. So now the average age of a mortgage loan originator is starting to drop now, which is a really beautiful thing. We're finally getting some new blood in the business. But on average, we all are given about 30,000 warnings, when we come onto this earth, based on the average lifespan. At age 54, which has been the average age of mortgage loan originators, we have about 10,000 warnings remaining. And you know what? I don't know about you, but I want to make those mornings count. So I began to live my day every single day with great intention. I don't want to waste a day and get home at the end of the day and know I didn't do the work I was meant to do in the world, and to play small. So I really wake up every single day, and after I do my gratitude prayer and I, do my meditation, I 100% of the time state an intention. What bold choice am I going to make today to make a difference in the lives of others? So I want you to think about what bold choice you can make, or what brave choice you can make each and every day. Because I believe we have to begin with the end in mind. What do we want this year to look like? At the end of 2025, what do you want to have accomplished? It's just like going into a meeting. You've got to know what outcome you want. Well, I want you to think about what outcome you want from this business. Like, where do you want to drive this train? Because I stated my claim early in my career that I wanted to be in the top 100 originators in the US, and I made that dream come true with a lot of hard work and dedication, but so can you. Because I believe we all have the ability to rewrite our own story and create our life by design. But sometimes we need the roadmap, right? We need a little support, we need a little accountability to bring about the change that's necessary. So we're going to dive in here to the mortgage satisfaction assessment. And I want you to grab something to write with if you can, because I want you to assess yourself as we go. I believe that top producers really do assess their business on a regular basis. And so I want you to look at these 8 key areas of your business. And I just want you to tell yourself the truth. And you're going to score yourself from 0 to 10, meaning 0 is you are not satisfied with this area of your business, and 10, you're highly satisfied. So let's look at the number of referral partners. There's a lot of people today that, like, I worked with about 20 referral partners when I transferred my business over to my partner and launched my coaching company, which was about 11 years ago. So I had a great referral partner network, and I worked with about 20 agents. But if I was back in origination today, I would set my sights on building a relationship with 40 agents. I believe we need about double the number to generate the same amount of business. So I want you to rank yourself. How do you feel about your trusted referral partners that are consistently referring your business? Or do you need to really focus on building your referral partner network? And I'm going to give you a strategy in just a moment on one key strategy on how to do just that. Look at your personal production levels. The last couple of years, not too many people are thrilled with their personal production levels, though we've got some people killing it at the beginning of 2025, which I'm very happy to see. We have some comeback months that are coming into play here, which is exciting for many of my clients. But if you're not happy with your production levels, then we've got to obviously build your referral partner network. We've got to get you out in front of more people. So score yourself from 0 to 10. I want you to think about your compelling client experience. You all have an experience, but is it compelling? Are you clear what happens from the time a lead comes in the door to the very next step? What touch points are they receiving? What are kind of the wow customer service things that you're doing throughout the process? So we teach that. We teach you how to build a system that creates kind of that ultimate client experience. So really rank your experience. One of my brand new clients has built out this experience, and his lead flow just exploded this month because his clients are referring him other clients, and his realtor partners are so happy with the job that he's doing. I want you to look at your marketing execution. Marketing is a big bucket, right? It's such a big bucket. It includes social media, your database marketing. Are you using a database marketing system? Are you doing education events like lunch and learns? Are you having mastermind events? But really think about, what are you doing to market your business? We teach how to execute an annual marketing plan. So it makes it into a system and makes it easy to execute, because we all need to expand our reach in the market right now. And marketing is a great way to do it. And then your time, energy, and productivity. Are you productive in your day? Or are you really, your business is just dictating your day and you're not being productive? You're being extremely busy and you don't know how to get control of your day. It's a very common problem in mortgage. So we want to make sure that we're teaching you how to manage your time and your energy to be productive, so that when you're at work, you're focused on work and you're moving the needle. And when you're at home, you can be with family and friends. Right? So rank yourself from 0 to 10. How productive and satisfied are you? High impact team. Now, some of you may not have a team, right? But we want to build your business to get you to a place where you need an LOA and you need a team, because the goal is to get you out of the file so you can focus on income and relational activities. So think about, do you have a high impact team? Even if you share one assistant, are you being intentional how you're using that person? Is it the right person? Can you build and grow your business? Are you letting go of the things you should let go to focus on the right activities? A lot of my coaching is around teaching loan officers to let go and get rid of control and entrust, empower their team. And then your own good self-care, right? Are you taking care of yourself? Because it's very hard to have a great business if you're not taking care of yourself. You've got to have morning practices to fuel your own soul, right? Whether for me, it's meditation, I work out with a trainer 3 times a week. What are you doing to take care of yourself? And then work-life balance. Work-life balance is attainable and it's a choice. And we help people get very clear on their non-negotiables so they can really have a great relationship with their family and their business. So I want you to just really quickly pop into the chat where you scored yourself the lowest. Was it referral partners? And that's got to be your number one thing you got to focus on. Is it your personal production levels? You don't really have a client experience. Maybe you're not doing anything to market your business. You're not using your database. You know you need to. And by the way, if you're not, that should be number one on your business goal list for the quarter, right? Are you being productive? But I want you to just put into the chat one area that you scored yourself low. And look, most people score themselves low on many areas, but just pick one that you want to focus on because we need to start somewhere. You know, maybe you're really building towards a team, or maybe you're not utilizing your team in the way that you need to, or maybe your life is totally out of balance and that's a focal point for you. And we'll come back to that. So I'm not going to go through all these with you. You can come back and look at this again. If you want to take a picture of this, feel free. But if you're not happy with your referral partners, then you've got to take action. So we want you to take a step and make a commitment that maybe you need to set 3 appointments weekly with potential new referral partners. We have lots of strategies around how to teach you to do that. Maybe you're not happy with your production levels and you need to focus on 5 income generating activities every single day before the hour of noon to generate more business. Maybe you've got to work on your compelling client experience and your communication strategy. So these are going to be different for all of you, but maybe you need to build a marketing plan and really execute a larger form of marketing to be able to be in front of more people. So we want you to just get more intentional about how you're leading your life. We want to get you more productive. And really what we do when we're doing this exercise is having you pick one thing that you will do to move the needle 1%. It's amazing what continuing to move the needle and just be better today than you were yesterday. But it takes being intentional about how you're working to build and grow your business. So now I'm going to dive into discover your why and greatest strengths. This is kind of an easy thing that one could just gloss over, but let me tell you, I think it's the crux of so many success stories. So I want you to think about this for you and just put pen to paper as I talk you through this. Just write down whatever comes to mind. I want you to really think about what are your 3 greatest strengths in the context of how it serves your referral partners and your client base, right? Many of you, I'm sure years ago, probably watched this famous TED Talk, How Great Leaders Inspire Action. If you've never seen it, go type it into YouTube and take a listen. It's very, very powerful. Simon Sinek, this has been around for a long time, and I still think it is one of the most powerful strategies is people don't really care what you do. They don't really care how you do it. They care why you do it. What is it about this business of mortgage that inspires you to be in the mortgage industry? What is it that fuels you? Share that with your clients because even though you're getting them pre-qualified for their home purchase, they make the decision to buy from their emotion. They say yes to the particular house because it inspires them and it feels good to them. So we want to make sure that you're tapping into that emotional side with your client. So I want you to think about what are your 3 core strengths for real, you know, and like, I mean, it's very interesting to ask even top producers this question. Some people are at a complete and utter loss. So if you're not sure what your core strengths are, think about why a realtor would refer you. What are they saying about you? Why their client should call you, right? So I'm going to share this because I want you to think differently about this. So when I did this exercise many years ago, I was like, all right, well, I know one of my core strengths is I think I'm a great communicator. I had a very strong communication strategy when I was a mortgage leader. and I work really hard on my communication skills. So that is a greatest strength. But then I asked myself, how is that a differentiator from my competition down the street? Is that really going to win me the deal over Bob down the road? My competition? No. So what I did is I shined a much brighter light on something we already did. So maybe your greatest strength, I'm going to talk more about that in just a minute, but maybe your greatest strength is, you know, the financial markets. You're a mini Barry Habib, right? And you know the financial markets and you study them every single morning so you can really educate your clients on what's going on in the market. Maybe you're a guideline expert. You know, I was great with guidelines. I was a tax return expert. I was great with like non-QM loans, right? So I want you to think about what your 3 core strengths are. So what I did is I took something that I thought I was good at, meaning communication, and we communicated 10 milestones on every loan to the buyer's agent, the seller's agent, and to our client. We already did that. But what I did is I put it together. I actually created a flyer and I put together the Cindy Ertman's 10-point milestone communication plan. Feel free to, take a picture of this, swipe and adapt it. The 10-point milestone communication plan took something we already did. We had a communication plan, but I could talk about it every time I met with a realtor partner. One of the things my realtor partners love about our team is our 10-point milestone communication plan, right? Like it was a system. So I want you to think about your core strengths. How can you shine a brighter light on your strengths? Maybe you're a VA expert. Maybe you work with builders and you're a new home specialist. But what is your expertise? And how can you shine a much brighter light on that in the marketplace? Like no one's going to do it for us. Like we have to do it, right? So I want you to think about this. But this 10-point milestone communication plan just helped one of my clients win a builder account. Because the builder's number one frustration with his current lender, lack of communication. So, and I want you to think about what are your company's 3 greatest strengths? What does your company do really, really well? I want you to think about what are the special gifts your company has to offer. We want to start weaving that into our conversation, weaving it into our marketing, right? Excuse me, because I'm just getting over a cold. So I want you to get really clear on your company's 3 greatest strengths. Because a lot of time it's not about your resources. It's about being resourceful with who's right in front of you. So we want you to think about your own network, who's right in front of you right now. So this strategy can change the game for you. So I want you to take some pictures of these slides. And I'm going to challenge you to execute on this strategy. Because guess what? It doesn't work unless you execute. But if you execute, this works. I'm not kidding, 100% of the time. I have success story after success story from my own clients that are utilizing this strategy. So I want you to think about how many realtors have you called this week? Do you have a plan around who you call? And most of the time, many people fear calling realtors unless they're best friends or they know, like, and trust them. But people have a great aversion to calling people they really don't know. Now, this strategy is a warm call strategy, so it makes it much simpler to integrate. So this is the strategy. You can probably do this right now with me. I want you to write down 5 realtors or referral partners. They don't have to be realtors. When I did this exercise first, I did it with realtors. I created the strategy for myself and my team, and I tested it. I want you to write down 5 referral partners that you believe know, like, and trust you. They don't have to be 100% loyal to you, but they know you, like, and trust you. And that if you call them, you have a relationship with them. So I created the strategy for one of my coaching clients because she was really afraid of realtors. And she had about 5 realtors that she said she had a great relationship with, but she needed to expand her reach. So we took those 5 realtors, she wrote their names down, and then she called those 5 people with this script. You can call those 5 people just today and get the strategy in motion. So I'm just going to kind of read through. I got to go back to script 1 here. So I'm going to kind of just read through this script. So, hey there, Tara. And Tara was really the name of the first person that I called. She was one of my realtor partners. Hi, this is Cindy Ertman. I wanted to reach out to you because we value you greatly as a trusted referral partner and appreciate our relationship with you more than you know. Our team is looking to expand our realtor referral business this year. We are passionate about helping our clients secure their dream of homeownership and would like to serve more buyers this year. We value our relationship with you and wondered if you could recommend a couple of quality realtors who could benefit from the same kind of service that you've experienced in working with our team. We are not looking for quantity here. We're just looking for quality. We would greatly appreciate it if you could help us by recommending a couple of realtors that might benefit from our service. Now, you can tweak this script any way you want, but I'm going to encourage you to really commit to utilize the strategy. It's a warm lead strategy. People want to help you. So if you call a realtor partner that knows, likes, and trusts you and says, hey, listen, we really love working with you. We know, like, and trust you. We are so grateful for you. We want to expand our business this year. Could you refer me a couple of names of people that you respect, that you know, like, and trust, that might benefit from our service? Guess what? They always say yes. They always say yes. And I don't really let them off the phone until they give me a name or two. But let me tell you what happens with this strategy. I got way more than 2 names per person. So then you have to call the person, right? You have to call the names that you were actually given. So when I use this script and I called Tara, I read exactly that script over the phone. And I said, hey, Sarah. Now, Sarah doesn't know me, right? Because she's now kind of a warm cold call. I said, hey, this is Cindy Ertman. Give them your company name. Hey, I just got off the phone with Tara Smith, and she has been a valued referral partner of ours for many years. I had shared with her that we were looking to expand our realtor partners this year, since our passion is helping buyers secure their dream of homeownership. I asked Tara who she trusts and values doing business with and who might benefit from the service we provide. She gave me your name as someone she deeply respects, trusts, and values. Her recommendation holds a lot of weight with my team, so I wanted to reach out to you personally to see if we could connect for a quick cup of coffee or lunch next week. I'd like to learn a little bit more about you and your business. The reason they say yes to this is because you got their name from someone that knows, likes, and respects you. So I would say at least 90% of the people that I called with the strategy, and I did the strategy over and over and over again, this strategy works. Now, the cool thing is what happened next is this is Tara. This is the realtor that referred me, Sarah. Is Tara called me about 10 minutes later. She goes, you know what? I have a better idea. She gave me the names of 3 people, by the way. She gave me 3 realtors, and she had just switched companies. She went to work for Sotheby's. She gave me the name of 3 people. Then she called me up and she said, hey, why don't we just all have lunch? So why don't you just invite them to lunch and tell them that I'm going to come, and that way I can help you get to know them. And that's exactly what we did. And when I turned my business over to my partner, when I launched my coaching company, my partner still works with 3 of those agents today. So it's pretty incredible what can happen. And honestly, 34% of the business is still referred by realtor partners. So even if you don't really want to work with a realtor partner, I'm encouraging you we want to add some realtors into the mix. They are a great source of business. So the worst that can happen is this, y'all. Like, the worst that can happen is you get an objection. And really the biggest objection is, hey, thanks for calling, but I already have a long-term relationship with the lender. That's really the only thing they said. One guy said to me, I'm already working with someone in your office. I said, okay, you're in good hands. Great. But even if someone says no, thank you, this is what I'd like you to do. This is kind of an overcoming objection script. Hey, Sarah, I value long-term trusted partnerships more than you know, and greatly appreciate the long-term relationships I've developed with my referral partners as well. But look, in my experience in our current lending environment, it's difficult to find one lender that can service all of your clients' mortgage needs. So I'd still welcome just a quick meeting. I'd love to come by your office or grab coffee And I'd love to just share a couple of realtor marketing strategies with you that you might find valuable as you go into the new year, because I love to help my realtors build and grow their business. But I would love to even be considered your second choice lender, or if a deal blows up midstream and you need help, or if a client wants two names, I would love to earn my way in as your second choice lender. And, I'm not going to bug you, but I'd love to at least meet you because Tara told me how great you were. And that means a lot to me. And I think great leaders should know great leaders, even if we don't work together. Would you be open to that? And then they would usually say yes. So I got so many meetings. I just have to share with you the second person I called on this strategy. He was a good friend. He was a single home developer. He gave me 8 names. 3 of them I knew, but 5 of them I didn't. I got 5 new referral opportunities from making this call to my second person. And one of the guys in my training call this morning told me he got way more than 10 because the request is 2 per person, right? You'll be surprised what you can create from this strategy. So really, we want to just go into action on this plan. The plan works, but you got to put it into action. No one can do your sit-ups for you, right? You've got to do your sit-ups. So we want you to schedule time on your calendar in the next week. We want you to call those 5 realtors. If it were me and I want to get after it, I'd be doing it today. I would call those 5 realtors that know, like, and trust and use the script. I would call those 5 people and ask to be referred to 2 new people. The script works great. And then immediately I want you to call the people, the 10 names that you get with the strategy and with the script. It's amazing how quickly this can work to build new referral partners. And my client who executed this last week already has a deal in the door today from executing this strategy just 1 week ago. And that's what really happens when you execute a great strategy. So look, we know you can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. So a lot of our strategies are about creating value for the people that we want to build relationship with. We have lots of value propositions to help our realtors become more successful, which in turn helps us become more successful. So I want you to think about in 2025, how would you really feel if you could really develop that brave, bold, confident, winning mindset? Like you really owned it and you got out of your fear and you were taking the steps necessary to really build and grow your business to new heights. What if you could create the systems and streamline the loan process and you had an actual system for how that loan flowed through the system? What if you created a really solid goal plan for success? That really you felt good about at the end of this year, like you really moved the needle in 2025. What if you could really build a new successful referral partner network and you doubled your production this year? How great would that feel? How would that change your life? And then what gaps do you need to fill in your business? What are some of the things? Maybe you're not doing a great job at database marketing. Maybe you don't have a marketing plan, right? There's so many different aspects of our business that we need to work on. But how would you really feel if at the end of this year you had accomplished the things you want to accomplish and you turned your business around so you could be super proud of what you've accomplished this year? Because that's what I really want to see for people. That is why I'm a mortgage coach. And I wanted to share this testimonial from Erin. This just came over a couple of weeks ago. She's only 4 years in the business, but she built the system that we taught around, from the time the loan comes in the door to about 1 year post close. She built the system of the mortgage loan journey. And guess what happened? She sent this email saying she picked up 15 hours a week. She is now out from behind her desk and she's out meeting more people. She's intentional about her practices and still winning 5-star reviews. I'm so proud of her because Erin, throughout this last year, has gotten super intentional about her business. And she's had some incredible, incredible months in the last year during what's still a challenging market, right? So I love this because the man at the top of the mountain didn't just fall there, right? He got there one step at a time. And my passion for coaching is to help people just take another step, to give them new tools and strategies to build and grow their business in a methodical way, to give them a little bit of accountability and to help get them out of their comfort zone and take braver, braver action, because it's amazing how quickly you can move the needle if you're willing to really look at how you're spending your day. Because this is one thing that I said at the beginning, what I do every day is I want you to think about when you wake up every day, what is one brave choice you could make today? One of my clients called a top producing team that he'd been afraid to call for the last year. And guess what? He got a meeting and he's now getting one of the team members' business and they're testing him out. He made a brave choice and he got a shot. He got an opportunity, but you miss 100% of the shots that you never take. So I really want to help you, create the desire that you want for the income, for the production, for your family. Because I personally believe, and I've had coaches for 40 years, that the best investment you'll ever make is the best investment you make in yourself. And it doesn't have to be Cindy Ertman, but I really encourage you to invest in yourself this year. This business is not for the faint of heart. It takes a community, it takes accountability, and it takes support to really move the needle to the next level. So I'm leaving you with an offer today that I rarely do, but I happen to love Momentum Builder. I'm a huge fan. I'm excited about Sales Mastery that's coming up. So I want to encourage you to take action. This QR code is a QR code to book a strategy call. These are not heavy duty sales calls, you all. These are like actual coaching calls. And I'm going to make you an offer for the first 5 people that sign up. My team usually does these calls, but we really help you look at your business and the challenges. This is not just selling you a coaching program. We have 3 different tiers of coaching to meet any budget. But for the first 5 people that sign up for the call, I will do the call personally, and we will work on some strategies to help you build and grow your business in that call. I assure you. If you decide to join either our private leader level coaching or my mortgage mastermind elite group, which I only have 4 spots left, we begin at the end of March, we will give you a $500 discount just for booking the call today. And that's a big discount that we really never give. But the other thing, we have our Millionaire Mortgage Club program right now for the month of February. We're doing a special for the month of February because we love our community. $97 for the first month. So jump on the call. We can walk through the programs, give you the discount code. And if there's something that works for you, we would love to support you, because my passion is helping you grow and build your mortgage business and tap into those amazing strengths that you have that you may not be shining a bright enough light on. If you want more information, you can always email us as well at info@cindyertman.com. You can go to my website at cindyertman.com. There's some great free resources. You can also book a call from the site. But I'd love to support you on your journey to success. And I'd love to help you move the needle, because you deserve it. If you're still in this business, it means you're serious about success. And I'd love to help you take it to another level. And then I would love to open it up here for questions.
Yeah, thank you, Cindy. So awe-inspiring, I'm sure, for everyone. You captivated the attention of everyone. No one left. They all stayed. And it's easy to get distracted and hop off and take calls. You're getting a lot of hearts right now too, which perfect for your heart-centric approach. I personally loved listening to you because I think it's hard to balance the heart and the mind, right? And what we do, what you brought to the table was so practical, so pragmatic and sequential, and it had a process to it. And I think we all love to have that structure, but it also had enough thought provoking on, like, are you doing things for the right reasons? Are you filling your own cup? Are you making small changes rather than putting so much pressure on yourself to succeed quicker? So I loved the balance. You are definitely the greatest of all time. I agree with Julie. Any questions for Cindy while we have her?
Guys, seriously. Oh, Julie Yarbrough, hi. Mickey. Oh my gosh, so many friends. That is so awesome. Now I
You
just,
got a fan club for sure here.
you guys, seriously, it doesn't even have to be about the presentation. If there's anything that, you've got that you're struggling with, feel free. Like, I'm here for you. Thank you, Mickey.
Yeah, and she's
My great
right.
leader.
It's this industry right now. To your point, Cindy, is not for the faint-hearted, and Mickey's right. We need optimism, and we can't do it alone. So
But I also think it's like, look at what we do for a living.
yeah.
I think sometimes even with our team, Joel, you got to remind your team, it's like we are changing lives with what we do. I mean, real estate has changed my life without even question. It's like we lose sight because we're so in it and loans are hard. You know,
Yeah.
I have so many clients saying it's the toughest it's ever been, and we know that. But the reality is, we sometimes lose sight of the bigger picture of the difference we're making in people's lives, and even getting the strategy around how to talk to our borrowers to help them see that now is the time to actually leap into the market. And waiting is never, even on with coaching, people will say, well, I'm committed to double my business. Well, what are you going to do to make that happen? Because if you're doing the same thing, it's not going to happen. If someone doesn't make the choice of home ownership today, they're not going to have a lot of equity a year from now. They're going to be probably in exactly the same boat that they're in. So it's our job to help people influence change in their life. I really believe that what we do makes such a big difference. And so the more people you can help and serve, the more lives you can legitimately change. That's why I'm so proud of what Tom did. You think about going from 38 million to 58 million to 132. It's like many would say that's not possible, but he did it. 42 years in the business. He's now in it 46 years. So it's pretty darn cool to see what's possible, even for the old dogs in our business.
I love that. Troy made a comment in the chat, and I so resonate with it. And I actually think, I hope it's the catalyst for where our industry needs to go, which is it's hard to give clients the hard advice. And I'd love to hear your perspective, but my perspective, Troy, is I would love to see loan officers become more like financial advisors, have that consultative approach, and sit down and talk to your customers about what is best for them and is now the right time. And depending on that, you're going to build a customer for life. So Cindy, I'd love your thoughts and feedback there as well.
I agree 100%. And look, I agree with you, Troy. It is tough sometimes to, and you guys, I started in my career at the time of the NAGAM loan, right? So like that's all I had to sell. And most of you don't even know what that is. But the reality is a NAGAM loan was not right for every client. I mean, it was created for a very specific type of client, and it was a great niche product for certain people. The problem when we talk our buyers out of doing something, you know, our realtor partners, particularly if it's referred by a realtor, thinks we're horrible people. So, but the reality is, I always believe that if we do the right thing for the client, um, that we are serving them in a very big way for a lot of future business, because we have to. It's our responsibility. And to put someone in a NAGAM loan when it was potentially going to turn them upside down, I just couldn't live with that night. So I had to be very careful who I sold that loan to. And I told the truth. I had a realtor friend of mine last week. I hadn't seen her in, I don't know, 10 years probably. And she was one of my biggest partners. And we ran into each other. And she goes, I wish you would just get back into origination. She goes, we would all use you again. And sometimes I want to just to go test the theory. But she goes, Cindy, she goes, the reason I said, why? Why did you feel that way? And she said, because you always told the truth, even when we didn't want to hear it. And you always came back to us. If it was bad news, you always came back with a solution, and we felt safe with you because you always told the truth. And we just don't get that from a lot of mortgage originators. So I really believe in tell them the truth. I also believe that the time to buy is now. I do. If you can get this client qualified and they've got the ability to purchase, I think we all know you cannot time a market. But the worst decision I ever made in my entire life was selling a property in Manhattan Beach, California, because I listened to a bunch of realtors tell me that it was at the top of the market. And we're in a high-end market in Manhattan Beach, but that house sold for $598,000. The woman that just sold it for 3.5 million. And that is a painful lesson. My son 4 years ago bought a house. He called me and said, everyone's telling me we're at the top of the market and not to buy. I said, don't listen to them. I've done this my whole life. The time to buy is now. Go get pre-qualified with Stephanie. Let's make sure you can qualify. If we can get you in the house, I'll help you. But the reality is we got to get you in now. I don't even want to tell you how much his house has gone up here in the last 4 years, but he's got over $200,000 of equity in 4 years' time. He is so grateful he bought then. So use storytelling with your clients of the successes that you hear from others. You know, I believe if they can get into a house now, I went through my whole escrow on my first house, scared to death, and being in the mortgage business, terrified. You know, and I kept telling myself, what's the worst that could happen? I could sell the house. Worst that could happen, I could sell the house. I'm pretty glad I didn't sell the house. Other questions?
Troy's just making a good point about buying versus taking a cash out right now. And It's
Something else,
like-
you all, that I just want to mention, because this is such a hot button for me. I'm not exaggerating. Probably 70% of the loan officers I talk to are not marketing to their database, their past client database. And I don't know why it's such a hard thing to drill into people's heads, but the reality is it was responsible for 20 to 30% of my income every year.
Hmm.
And I also called 20 past clients every week. And when I got to the point, if I was too busy, I trained my LOA on my call script for past clients. But when you call those clients, you want to make that call count. So I don't have this in a slide. I'm just going to tell you because we do have a whole training around this, but it might just give you some extra value here. If you're calling your past client, this is what my calls always sounded like. Hi, Sasha. This is Cindy Ertman calling, just calling to check in to see how you're doing with your home and your mortgage. I just want to touch base because so many people have no idea all the reasons people are refinancing right now. So I want to touch base with you. I haven't talked to you in the last year, and I want to just check in and see how you're doing. I want to update your contact information. And I got a couple of questions. Do you have a few minutes that I just want to run through a couple of questions with you? And then my questions are things like, has any major life changes occurred for you in the last year? Meaning, have they lost a job? Have they had a baby, right? Because these things happen and we have no idea of knowing. I created so many opportunities from calling people that would never have picked up the phone to call me to say, oh, yeah, we had an accident, third baby, and now we're busting out of the seams of our house. And we'll probably move in about a year because, we didn't anticipate having 3 kids. To which I responded, well, why would you wait busting at the seams? Why wouldn't you just go look at a new house now? Seriously, you guys, I had that guy in escrow 2 weeks later, and that realtor loved me for a lifetime because that Jack would have never called me to say they were busting at the seams. There was no reason. He was thinking it was a year out.
Sure.
But he was so happy after that. We can create opportunities. Talk about debt. Honest to goodness, we're at the highest debt ceiling in America in history. They might have a 3% rate, but they got a lot of debt that's racked up, and talk to them about it. Open up the conversation. Maybe you've got a lot of equity, Mr. Borrower. Maybe we should look at you buying a second home and really creating wealth through real estate. Maybe you want to buy, maybe your kids are going off to college. We have all the questions that you want to ask. And then, hey, could you benefit from a financial planner? Do you have a great CPA? Have you put your home in a trust? Gives you opportunity to refer and then to remind them that, hey, by the way, all my business is referral. I so enjoyed working with you. If you have a family member, a friend, or coworker that we could help, I'd love you to keep me top of mind. Is there anyone that you think might need my services? Just make those calls count.
Yeah, I love that. And the added value makes those asks at the end so much easier, so much more natural, right? So great tips. I know we are out of time. Thank you again so much. I can attest to both coach and being coached my entire career that it is always helpful to have that accountability check. So highly encourage everyone here to consider, as Cindy said, herself or otherwise, but it's really helpful to have that additional accountability to support you in the journey. Meanwhile, I think we've got some additional info, Sonia, for coming up sessions. So again, here's some additional information from Cindy. Sorry, went away too fast before I could get to it. That's my fault, Sonia. And then coming up next week, I'll give people a chance to scan this if they want. Okay, let's go next one. So Dale will be here next week to talk on leadership and winning sales and service strategy. And then we've got Sean Herrero coming up, the adventure lender. I love that name for him.
Both good friends of mine. They're both awesome.
I think we're both great and different, which I love. We've got such great diversity in the speakers that come on here, as well as different summits. Here is another summit to consider, March 6th, Modern Mortgage Summit. I can speak today in Las Vegas or virtual if you prefer. So join Don and Gino. They'll be there. And then anything else? Sales Mastery powered by Momentum Builder. This event is going to be it, guys.
Don't miss it.
Oh man, every year Momentum Builder is great. I know Sales Mastery had 30 years of great events. These two brands together, it has been so fun to work with all of them. And I can only tell you that we are curating this far more than anything I've ever seen. So to Cindy's point, you just don't want to miss it. You got to be there. I can't wait for it. Super excited. So thank you, everyone. Thank you again, Cindy, so much for your time. Your words.
Thanks, Asha. Thank you all.
Yeah, have a great day.
Bye.
Don't make a bold choice.